The champagne bubbled in my glass like my wife's laughter, fake and leaving a bitter aftertaste. I stood in the corner of Emily and Jared's anniversary party, watching Lana work the room like she owned it, which, knowing her, she probably thought she did. "Colby, you look thrilled to be here," Emily said, appearing beside me with that quiet smile of hers. "About as thrilled as a root canal," I muttered, then caught myself. "Sorry, I know it's your celebration." She studied my face with those sharp eyes that never missed anything. "Something's eating at you." Before I could answer, Lana's voice cut through the chatter like a rusty blade. Everyone, gather around. I have the most wonderful announcement." The crowd of 30-something professionals and suburban royalty pressed closer. Jared appeared at Lana's side, that practiced real estate smile plastered on his face. My stomach churned as I watched him place his hand on her lower back, the same gesture I'd seen in the photos tucked inside my jacket pocket. "As you all know, Emily and Jared are celebrating 15 beautiful years together," Lana began, raising her glass. "And I'm so honored to share in their joy because—" She paused for dramatic effect, one hand drifting to her stomach. "Because I'm pregnant." The room erupted in squeals and congratulations. Camera phones appeared like magic, capturing Lana's glowing smile and carefully positioned pose. I felt Emily stiffen beside me. "6 weeks along," Lana continued, basking in the attention. "And I just couldn't keep it secret any longer." That's when I stepped forward, my lawyer Soren materializing from the crowd like we'd rehearsed, which we had. "You're absolutely right, Lana," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You should definitely congratulate the father." The room went quiet except for the soft jazz still playing from hidden speakers. Lana's smile faltered for just a second before snapping back into place. "Everyone should congratulate my wonderful husband. You'd better congratulate Emily's husband instead." I pulled out the manila folder and opened it slowly, letting the photographs spill onto the gift table. Hotel receipts, text message printouts, the ultrasound photo with J+L forever, written in Lana's handwriting on the back. Jared went pale as old newspaper. Lana tried to laugh, but it came out strangled. "Colby, what are you— This is ridiculous." Soren stepped forward with his briefcase, all business. "Mrs. Varron, you've been served with divorce papers. All joint accounts have been frozen pending paternity testing and asset division." The cameras were still rolling, but now they were pointed at me. Emily calmly pulled out her phone and started forwarding emails to Jared's boss, Lana's HR department, both sets of parents. "Thank you, Lana," Emily said, her voice steady as granite. "That's everything we needed on record." I looked around the room at the shocked faces, the whispered conversations already starting, the social media posts being typed with lightning fingers. "Enjoy the party," I said, heading for the door. "I've got a house to clean." Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. The drive home took 12 minutes, but I spent every second of it imagining Lana's face when the reality hit her. By the time I pulled into our driveway, my phone was buzzing with texts from her friends, her mother, even my own brother asking what the heck was happening. I ignored them all. The house felt different when I walked in, lighter somehow, like a weight I'd been carrying for months had finally lifted. I'd already moved Lana's clothes to the guest room and changed the locks that morning. Soren had been thorough about the legal side, but the emotional cleanup was all mine. 20 minutes later, Lana's BMW screeched into the driveway. I watched from the kitchen window as she fumbled with her keys, then started pounding on the front door when they wouldn't work. "Colby, open this door right now." I took my time walking over, coffee mug in hand. When I opened it, she pushed past me like a hurricane in heels. "Have you lost your mind? Do you have any idea what you've done?" "Yeah," I said, sipping my coffee. I've taken out the trash. She spun around, mascara smeared, that perfect party dress now wrinkled. This is my house, too. Actually, it's not. Check the deed. My name, my down payment, my mortgage. I gestured toward the guest room. Your stuff's in there. You've got until tomorrow to get it out. You can't do this. I'm pregnant. With another man's child. I set down my mug and looked her straight in the eye. Did you really think I wouldn't figure it out? The late nights, the new clothes, the sudden interest in Jared's real estate deals? She tried a different approach, tears appearing on command. Colby, please. It was a mistake. I was confused, emotional. You were planning this for months. I pulled out my phone and played one of the recorded conversations Emily had shared with me. Lana's voice clear as day. Once I'm pregnant, Colby will never leave me. And if he does, hello alimony and child support. The tears dried up fast. You recorded me? Emily did. Turns out your boyfriend wasn't as discreet as he thought. Pocket dials are a wonderful thing. Lana's face shifted through several emotions before settling on rage. You think you're so clever, but you have no idea what you've started. I'll destroy you for this. Get in line, I said, opening the front door. Right behind your career, your reputation, and your meal ticket. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, but not before turning back with venom in her voice. This isn't over. Yeah, I said, watching her taillights disappear down the street. It really is. Murphy's Tavern was exactly what you'd expect from a small New England town. Dark wood, older crowd, and gossip that flowed faster than the beer. I'd been coming here since college, back when the biggest drama was whether the Patriots would make the playoffs. Well, well, said Rita, the bartender who'd been here since the Carter administration. If it isn't our local celebrity. The entire bar turned to look at me. Word traveled fast in a town of 15,000, especially when it involved public humiliation at a fancy party. Just a beer, Rita, whatever's cold. Heard you made quite the scene tonight, said Dave, a plumber who lived 2 streets over. My wife was at that party. She said it was better than cable TV. I shrugged. Just sharing some good news. That your wife's been stepping out with Jared Sollace? This from Marie, who ran the flower shop and knew everyone's business. Honey, that's been common knowledge for weeks. Common knowledge? I turned on my stool. And nobody thought to mention it to me? The uncomfortable silence that followed told me everything I needed to know. These people had watched my marriage implode from the sidelines, like it was entertainment. My phone buzzed. Text from Emily. Jared's been fired, effective immediately. Thought you'd want to know. I couldn't help but smile. Anyone know if Sollace Real Estate is hiring? The laughter was mean but satisfying. Dave raised his glass. To honest men in a dishonest world. I'll drink to that, I said, but my mind was already moving to the next phase. By the time I got home, Lana had been busy. My voicemail was full of increasingly frantic messages from her, her mother, and her sister. The last one was different, though, cold and calculated. Colby, I've been thinking about everything that happened tonight. Maybe we can work something out. Call me. I deleted it without calling back. Lana, in negotiation mode, was more dangerous than Lana in rage mode. She was planning something, which meant I needed to stay 2 steps ahead. Soren had warned me this would get ugly before it got better. What he hadn't mentioned was how good it would feel to finally stop pretending everything was fine. 3 days later, I was back at Murphy's when Emily walked in. She looked different, confident in a way I'd never seen before. The quiet, overlooked wife had been replaced by someone who knew exactly what she wanted. Buy a girl a drink? She asked, sliding onto the stool next to mine. Celebrating something? Freedom. She signaled Rita for a wine. Jared moved out this morning, took his golf clubs and his ego, left everything else. How are you holding up? Better than expected. Turns out I'm stronger than I thought. She sipped her wine thoughtfully. Lana came to see me yesterday. That got my attention. What did she want? To convince me that you're the real villain in all this, that you seduced me into helping you destroy two innocent people who just fell in love. I snorted. Innocent. Right. She also offered me money to recant everything. Say I made up the recordings, forged the evidence. Emily's smile was sharp as broken glass. $50,000 to help her rebuild her reputation. What did you tell her? I told her I'd think about it. She pulled out her phone and played a recording. Lana's voice, clear and desperate. Emily, please. We can pin this all on Colby. Say he threatened you, forced you to lie. He's always been unstable. Everyone knows that. She actually said I was unstable? Oh, that's just the beginning. She's been calling everyone we know, trying to build a case that you're an abusive husband who drove her into another man's arms. The anger hit me like a physical force, but I kept my voice level. Is anyone buying it? A few people. Her work friends mostly. But then, they started getting anonymous emails with more evidence, hotel security footage, credit card records, even a video of her and Jared at that conference in Boston. I raised an eyebrow. Anonymous emails? Emily's smile widened. Amazing what you can find when you actually look. Jared kept everything on his laptop, passwords on sticky notes. Can you believe it? You've been busy. We've been busy. This is a partnership, remember? She leaned closer. Lana's planning something big. Her sister mentioned a lawyer, some kind of harassment case against you. Let her try. Soren's been documenting everything. It's not about winning in court, Colby. It's about making your life miserable while she rebuilds hers. She's already got a new job lined up, some company in Hartford that doesn't know about the affair. That stopped me cold. She's running? Planning to. Fresh start, new city, victim of a vindictive ex-husband. Emily finished her wine. Unless someone makes sure her new employer knows exactly what kind of person they're hiring. The idea that Lana might escape the consequences of her actions, might actually come out ahead, made my jaw clench. But Emily was right. This was bigger than just the divorce now. This was about making sure actions had consequences. What do you have in mind? A going-away party she'll never forget. 2 weeks later, everything was in place. Lana had already given her notice at work and put down a deposit on an apartment in Hartford. She'd been telling everyone who'd listened that she was the real victim, a pregnant woman abandoned by an unstable husband who couldn't handle her success. The story might have worked if Emily and I hadn't been so thorough. She's having a farewell dinner tonight, Emily told me over coffee, claiming she needs to leave town because you've made her life here impossible. Where? Marcello's. Private dining room, about 20 people, all her supporters, character witnesses for the harassment case. I smiled. Sounds like the perfect venue for a surprise. That evening, I waited in the parking lot until I saw Lana's BMW pull in. She looked good. New dress, professional haircut, playing the part of the wronged woman starting fresh. Through the restaurant windows, I could see her friends gathering around, offering support and sympathy. At exactly 8 o'clock, I walked in. The hostess tried to stop me, but I was already pushing through the doors to the private dining room. Lana looked up from her seat at the head of the table, surrounded by her court of enablers. Ladies, I said, pulling out a chair and sitting down uninvited. Don't let me interrupt. I just wanted to say goodbye. Colby, you need to leave, Lana said, but her voice shook slightly. This is harassment. Is it? I thought it was a public restaurant. I looked around the table at the uncomfortable faces. I just wanted to make sure everyone had all the facts before Lana starts her new life. Soren appeared in the doorway with a briefcase. Behind him, Emily entered with her own folder of documents. What is this? Demanded Janet, Lana's sister. This, I said, as Soren began distributing packets to each person at the table, is the complete record of your sister's affair, Hotel receipts, text messages, photos, recorded conversations, everything. Lana tried to stand, but Emily's voice cut through the room, including the paternity test results. The silence was deafening. I pulled out the lab report and set it on the table. Turns out the baby isn't mine after all. Jared Sollace is the father, just like I said. You had no right, Lana started. I had every right. It's my name that was going to be on the birth certificate. I stood up, looking around the table at the shocked faces. See, Lana's been telling everyone that I'm the unstable one, the abusive husband who drove her away, but the evidence tells a different story. Soren opened his briefcase and pulled out more documents. Bank records showing Mrs. Varron withdrew $15,000 from joint accounts to pay for hotel rooms and gifts for Mr. Sollace. Email records showing she planned to file false abuse charges to gain advantage in divorce proceedings. And this. He played the recording Emily had made of Lana's attempted bribe, her voice crystal clear as she outlined her plan to frame me. One by one, Lana's supporters began to leave. Her work friends, her book club, even her sister Janet gathered her purse and stood up. Lana, Janet said quietly, we need to talk. Later. Within minutes, the room was empty except for Lana, Emily, Soren, and me. Lana sat alone at the head of the table, her farewell dinner in ruins around her. You think you've won, she said finally. I know I have. I pulled out one last document, a letter from her new employer in Hartford rescinding their job offer. Amazing how quickly companies change their minds when they learn about character issues. Emily leaned forward. The harassment case is over too. My lawyer says you don't have grounds to sue someone for telling the truth. Lana's composure finally cracked. I'm pregnant. How am I supposed to support a baby now? That's between you and Jared, I said, standing up. Though I hear he's working at a car lot now, I'm sure he'll do right by you. As we walked toward the door, Lana called out one last time. This isn't over, Colby. I turned back, looking at her sitting alone in the wreckage of her own making. Yeah, Lana, it really is. Outside, Emily and I stood in the parking lot under the streetlights. The October air was crisp, full of possibilities. Feel better? She asked. Getting there. I looked back at the restaurant, where Lana was probably still sitting alone, finally understanding the cost of her choices. What about you? Free, she said simply. For the first time in years, completely free. We walked to our separate cars, two people who'd found strength in each other's honesty. Behind us, the restaurant glowed warm against the night, but inside that private dining room, Lana sat in the cold reality she'd created for herself. Sometimes the house burns down exactly the way it should.